And welcome to Around the Ozark Spotlight. Each week, we uncover the stories behind the people who live and work here in Southwest Missouri. Those individuals with entrepreneurial spirit who work to better the lives of others or even put pen to paper to write books about the stories and history of the Ozarks and its people. I'm your host, Scott Meier. Today, we're going to explore the world of getting away from winter this year with my good friend Travis Paquin, who's the owner of 417 Travel. Hello, Travis. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Scott?
Well, this is one of those rare times, let's share it with the people, that you're in country. And that's the only time I use that term, unless we're fighting a war somewhere. And
Yeah,
because you like to travel.
I do. I actually leave in 7 days on my next trip. So, it's one of the tough parts about the job is we got to check out all those new destinations. Our business has really expanded into, a lot of Europe and luxury cruising now. So we're
Sure.
getting to experience some fun new products.
Well, 417 Travel has been around for quite a while. And technically, I guess you're considered what? Ozark, Nixa, Springfield, certainly most of Southwest Missouri.
We are pretty much Southwest Missouri. We do have customers all over the country, and we got agents literally all over the nation now. So, but our primary market here is good old Southwest Missouri.
How long has it been in business?
We've been open for 10 years. 2025, we got our 10-year anniversary.
Now, what did you do before this, Travis? Because you're certainly not 30 years old, so you didn't start this when you were 20.
I wish. I spent some time, with the enemy, right? I was a director with Expedia, hotels.com for some time, worked with Marriott and a few other .com startups that sold all-inclusive travel. Then Michelle and I, my wife, we opened up our own agency here in Springfield. We're a brick and mortar storefront, kind of a dinosaur nowadays. We actually have agents in-house.
Mhm.
We focus on luxury travel around the world, group travel, destination weddings, honeymoons. Um, so yeah.
What was it like for you? Let's take a step back to a darker time, about 4 years ago, in the middle of the crazy pandemic. What was that like, and how did you get through that? Did that change your business at all?
It did. One sure did get a lot of gratitude. That was our fifth year, starting our sixth year, and as you know, for a small business, that's the year, right, when things kind of start
Hmm.
to come together for you. So, we were expecting our best year ever, and turned into, canceling over $5 million in travel in about
Oh,
10 days. So, our biggest focus then was retain our people. One of the reasons we've been successful is we've got great talent. So
hmm.
first and foremost, retain our people, take care of our clients. We still had some folks traveling, so make sure that they were informed about policies, procedures. Were they still comfortable traveling? And then, finding ways. There were a few destinations that were open. As you know, we did a lot of all-inclusive travel. So
Hmm.
some of the Caribbean and Mexico was open, even though we did have all the crazy travel protocols that you had to deal with. Um, but like I said, survive. That was the biggest thing, and knowing that once we came through that, the rebound was going to be probably worth it, and that's exactly what happened. It came back better than
Hmm.
how devastating the pandemic was. So just getting through it, my friend.
Do you think this was a bit of a wake up call for most folks that life is short, and if you've been putting things off, that maybe now's a good time to call someone like 417 and say, "Hey, get me out of here. I want to see some things."
Yeah, I mean the trends and the statistics just is obvious, right? People are traveling much longer. They're bringing more people with them. They're going to better destinations. And even if they're a standard cruiser or let's say an all-inclusive client, they're booking a better room or a little bit better of a hotel. So
Mhm.
absolutely, the key thing is people realizing that, that bucket list trip, it's time to book it, right?
So, how do you find other agents? You said you had agents not only here in Southwest Missouri, but you've got agents all over the country. Where do they come from? How do you find them? How do you vet them?
Yeah, that's a great question. One of the things that finding them is not hard. Everyone wants to, they see the pictures on Instagram or Facebook of agents traveling, and oh, that's what I want to do. They don't quite see that, our agents are 7 days a week, 365. Yes, they
Hmm.
travel well, and we make sure of that. One of the key things, we joke about. Yes, we have to go see these destinations, but every resort you look at has a beautiful sandy beach. So we make
Hmm.
sure that, and at least the picture on the website, right? So
Sure.
by us consuming that product, we can differentiate, and make sure that you're going to the right places, right destinations. Um, Finding them isn't hard. Vetting them is the tough part, right? Finding the right kind of agents that's willing to put the time in. Uh, Travel is a product that every day there's something new you need to learn. So someone that wants to
Hmm.
keep up with that. We're at 15 now total employees, 12 agents, and hired one yesterday. So finding them isn't very tough. Like I said, it's a great industry to be in. But making sure they're trained, traveled is most important. I always say if you're travel agent don't have a lot of travel pictures on their Instagram or their Facebook page, you might want to consider somewhere else. And also we're a
Sure.
good company, right? Local family owned, so we're fortunate folks are wanting to come join the 417 travel team.
Well, that's it sounds like the place to be. My guest today on Around the Ozark Spotlight, Travis Paquin. Travis and his wife Michelle owning 417 Travel. Do you both have titles with this, or are you just you're the
Well,
owner, she's the owner, we're both co-owners, we're CEO,
yeah,
COO?
you know me, I'm smart enough to make sure that she's El Presidente and I'm the vice
There you
president
go.
of marketing and sales. So they're
Absolutely.
actually in Vegas right now at a conference with some of our sales managers, and so yeah, she's the president.
What's happening right now with the price of travel? Before we get into destinations, prior to the pandemic, things were pretty steady, and then obviously the pandemic threw everything in a crazy thing, and all of a sudden, prices went out of control, and between housing prices and food prices and gas prices and on and on and on, and airline prices. Well, now it's 2024. Are we back to normal, or is this what they consider the new normal, or what do you see?
Yeah, I think, what the pricing's been very good overall. Inventory is the challenge when it comes to pricing. How many rooms are available, how many cruise ships are available,
Mhm.
post pandemic, things are sold out, which drove the prices up. Airline challenges, reducing, what we call lift or number of airline seats going out. Fewer seats, higher rates. I think what we're seeing with travel is what we're seeing with everything else. They've been able to get away with these higher rates for the
Mhm.
last couple of years, and I don't think there's really any going back. I don't think we're going to see, the $1,000 per person deals that we may have seen in 2019. But we are seeing airline rates, especially out of Springfield, do real well.
Mhm.
Our international rates over to Italy and Paris and France, and our tour packages abroad have priced out really well. They've stabilized. So if you're wanting to do a guided tour or a semi-guided tour in Greece or France, those prices are wonderful for next year. River cruises, they're full, right? So we're not going to see those
Yeah.
rates come down till we get a few more ships out. Alma's launching 10 new boats, which will help bring some prices down, hopefully. But um, I think we're back to the new normal is probably the best way to answer that question.
Travis, what's the relationship like with Springfield Airport? It's you're kind of cornered here because it's a national airport, not an international airport per se. What does that do for you? Do you have a working relationship with them? Do you find you're sending some of your people to other airports in the area, maybe for greater ease to get from point A to point B?
I love flying out of Springfield. I've been flying out of Springfield for all of my international flights because we can get to Dallas, Denver, Chicago, Charlotte, Houston out of
Hmm.
Springfield. We can get just about anywhere and often with just one stop. Our all-inclusive Caribbean Mexico product, they run the nonstop flights out of St. Louis and Kansas City. We can bundle those up and generally get you a really, really great value,
Hmm.
including a good value at the park and fly the night before. So um, we try to get you out of Springfield, right? If we can keep that to a one connection and make those flights make sense, it's usually a couple $100 more per person. But after you drive to St. Louis or Kansas City, you might as well have stuck with Springfield. And of course, we want to support our Springfield airport. The more people we fly out of it, the more opportunity we get for more flights, and it's great
Sure.
for the community.
Do you get a sense that we may see an additional airline out of Springfield Airport, or maybe some larger planes? Do you see that coming?
I don't know that we'll see another airline. I do think we'll see new routes.
Hmm.
I think the plane size is tough to run some of these larger aircraft out of Springfield because they're tough to fill, right? But I do think we'll see better routes, maybe to Miami. things that allow us to connect better. I think that'd
Mhm.
be as good of an advantage as the larger aircraft.
I mean, I personally would like to see a Detroit stop with Delta as a primary. Obviously, I've got family up there in Michigan, but you can get anywhere from Detroit, and it would be nice if they had a one stop flight there. Everything goes to Atlanta or Charlotte, and that's a little frustrating. But we do have three choices. But you don't see oh gosh, Southwest coming back ever.
You know, it's tough to tell, and I frankly I don't care if they do. Not my favorite airline carrier. Um, but I'd love to see American United add a couple more routes from Springfield to connect out.
Hmm.
Um, and there is a great opportunity for a little bit larger aircraft on some of those flights. We used to do some groups with you where we couldn't get you all on the same day just because the
Right.
the plane couldn't hold you all. So Springfield, seems like it's doing well. There's a lot more routes there than I think we ever expected, and boy, we got our fingers crossed that continues to grow and expand.
You're hearing, and watching Travis Paquin. Travis, the owner of 417 Travel here in Springfield. And, the pandemic changed a lot of things, obviously, Travis, the way people do business. A lot of times, my son is in the management training business, and he does most of that still online. And he's got clients now across the world, which before that it wasn't that way. Uh, but when people think travel agents, I think a lot of people initially think, well, I can do things myself if I just do it online. Why don't you take that on? What is the reason to take 417 call and book you as opposed to just trying to do this stuff yourself?
Well, I talked a little bit about it already. We've this year alone, we've been to France, Germany, the Canadian Rockies, Banff, train tour, Amsterdam, Montreal, Tulum, Vancouver, Spain, Curacao, the Galapagos on a National Geographic cruise.
Hmm.
And that's just some of them, right? Oktoberfest. So we've been there, right? We actually have been in these destinations. We don't charge any fees. So, I always tell people when you go book online, you're paying someone, right? They're just keeping
Hmm.
that commission. When you book with a travel agency, we get paid by our suppliers, our cruise operators, so we don't charge a fee to you as the client. Keep in mind, it's also lots of less stress in the planning
Hmm.
process. We can take you from, airline to destination to excursions while you're there, private tours, private transfers. Um, Also support and advocacy during pre-post travel, right? We're there to help you before you go if something happens during travel. We also obviously have a during travel network to help you if you have issues there. And
Hmm.
post travel, right? Something comes, you get back from your vacation, we're still there to help you service those things. Um, and we're local family owned, right? So it's great to support a local business. Yeah,
Sure.
we're not going to pay any more. We also do get better deals now with a lot of our cruise lines. Pricing is pretty stagnant across the board, but we do have some promotions we can get, onboard credits, drink
Hmm.
packages that you don't get when you book online.
What about folks that may be a little older? If you're over 65 and you're using a travel agent like yourself, is it important to have additional insurances, or does Medicare cover those folks? I mean, if you go out of the country, what would you tell them? What should they be looking for?
Well, for folks in that area, it's really important to deal with an agent for really two reasons. One is we definitely will help you with insurance. All of our products
Hmm.
will have an insurance program. We also offer third party insurance, which often will give you a little bit better coverage. Things like pet coverage. So if something, we do have people that, puppy gets sick, they're going to miss their trip. So it will insure those types of things. But most
Hmm.
importantly, travel's gone to technology. If you're not on the app for your airline, for your cruise ship, and even your hotel now, you're going to miss out. So we spend a lot of time, Scott, helping folks just get on the app, make sure
Hmm.
it's working, make sure they know how to use it. I'm sure in your travels, right? You're at the Springfield airport having a coffee, and you get that text on your phone to tell your gates changed or your flight's been delayed.
Hmm.
So it's really important to work with a travel agent to help you get on those tools. It also does make your trip a lot more efficient. And when things do come up, you can usually use these apps to help that. So you can still use the old paper like you and I used to do, but boy, everything's gone technical.
We're going to be back in a moment with Travis Paquin and his favorite topics, which are destinations and where we can get you out of Dodge here sooner than later. You're listening to Around the Ozark Spotlight, and I'm your host, Scott Meier. We'll be back in just a minute.
Hey, everybody, it's Ethan and Sarah Forhetz from your favorite podcast, Around the Ozarks in 5. I'm sure you've been wondering, how can I get even more amazing stories, events, and witty banter to start my day?
Well, look no further. Here we are. Sign up for our daily newsletter. You'll have what's going on around the Ozarks right at your fingertips each weekday morning.
Yeah, just go to aroundtheozarks.com, click on the newsletter tab to sign up.
Thanks for listening to Around the Ozarks in 5. We hope to see you in your inbox soon.
Welcome back to the second half of today's Around the Ozark Spotlight. I'm your host, Scott Meier. With me, Travis Paquin, who's the owner of 417 Travel. I got to give you a little plug here, Travis. We used your company numerous times to take customers of ours to different destinations. And I got to say, the beauty of it is they all came off without a hitch. And, that doesn't always happen. And I know you can't guarantee that. But I know that if we ever had a bump in the road, you all were right there to help us out. And we appreciate that. But let's get to the favorite part of your part of being a travel agent, which is these horrible trips you have to take to figure out great places to send people. Your favorite is where, and what are we looking at there?
Oh boy. You know what, my favorite trip I've taken here recently is Belgium. We flew into Amsterdam, used Antwerp as kind of a home base, and then used the trains to go to Brussels, Ghent, Bruges. I'm a beer guy,
Mm-hmm.
not much of a wine guy, and home of 2,500 beers.
Wow.
What I loved about it was you get all the history, all the architecture, but not the crowds, right? So we weren't
Mm-hmm.
fighting the crowds that you're seeing in, Paris and London, and also the trains. We did the first class cabins, and we were often on trains literally by ourselves, had a whole cabin to ourselves. Lots of walking, but boy, a lot of great food, a lot of great beer, and priced so well. Belgium
Mm-hmm.
compared to a lot of other countries in Europe, you're paying $20 for a lunch and a couple of beers versus 50 or 60 euros. So just an amazing trip. Didn't fight the crowds and just
Mm-hmm.
got to see everything that we wanted to see.
What's a good time of the year for people to go to a place like Belgium? What do you suggest, and what does that look like in terms of time? Is it a 10-day thing? Is it a 7-day thing? Is it a 2-week thing?
Yeah, I think a week for sure. To grab the three cities that we've seen, um, spring to all the way through to the fall. Tulip seasons, early in the spring, and that's a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful time to be there. Um, the price wise, stay off of the holidays, and it's just really affordable, economical. You can fly through Amsterdam or even fly into Paris and take the train
Mm-hmm.
up that way. So the train travel, right, is a lot more affordable than jumping from country to country within a Europe on a plane. So if
Mm-hmm.
you use the train to commute, you can save a lot of money, and it's just a great way to do it.
Do you ever suggest people rent a car?
We do. If you're going to Ireland, absolutely getting it self drive.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to do a single city stay, public transit's so wonderful over there. You usually have a train, a subway, Uber, cabs, bicycles. Right, when we were
Mm-hmm.
all over Belgium, we grabbed a bike. Right, you swipe your card and take off on the city bike. So. If you want to go out and explore the countryside, that's not a terrible idea. Some destinations, it's a great idea. Most destinations, that's not a need to get on a car.
Okay, but people can do that. I mean, that is an option if you want to do a driving trip.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In
And
places
and
like
I'm sure.
Ireland, we recommend it, right? It's a great way to explore the countryside.
Well, let's throw out an easy one for you. Mexico. I know you spend a lot of time in Mexico.
And what's the question?
Well, the question is that where we want to be this winter? Is that a place? And if so, there's so many new hotels that you've been to. Maybe some of your favorite places to send folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Mexico's doing well. We got a lot of new hotels. We still have some open flights on those flights out of St. Louis, I was telling you. So the prices are really good. The hot
Hmm.
new properties now are the new Secrets hotels. We got the Secrets Playa Blanca. up in Playa Mujeres. I'll actually be leaving there on the 20th to experience it. The new Secrets Tulum, which is in Tulum. We haven't had a real quality hotel actually in Tulum, so that's a
Hmm.
unique property. Also, Hotel Escaret, which is probably our favorite hotel maybe in the world as far as all inclusive goes. They're making a big expansion, another 800 rooms. So we're really excited to see what's happening with it. So there's a few the El Dorado hotels. You experienced the one of those, the fives at one point on one of your group trips.
Oh, that
They're
was
the
an
hot.
amazing place. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's the hottest deal in travel right now. El Dorado is by far, if there was a, lockdown, what's the hot deal? El Dorado Resorts, Riviera Maya is a steal right now. We're really selling a lot of that.
I think our favorite memory of that place was the food.
Ooh,
Sometimes you go to the all inclusives, the food is always good, not typically ever great. But there it was great. I mean, it was
yeah.
like 3 or 4 star every night.
Well, we did a COVID vow renewal there, right? My wife and I, so we had to
Oh, you did.
reschedule it like 7 times, but we did our vow renewal there. So we love that hotel as well.
Well, let's party down from Mexico. So you have a choice in Europe that most people probably don't think about, which is Belgium. We've talked a little bit about Mexico. What if you want to go further south? Anything that you could point a finger at? Maybe uh, some of the islands. Obviously, you've got Aruba and the Caymans and things like that. But maybe even in Central or South America.
Yeah, you know what? One of the things I mentioned, stay here at home and return to Maui. Right now, Maui's open for business. They need
Hmm.
business. There are great rates in Maui compared to what we've ever seen for a
Really?
hotel stay. Yeah, and we can do a multi-island stay. We always recommend you do more than one island when you go to Maui. But
Hmm.
if I was to pick a spot for this summer with great rates and a destination that really needs some travelers, let's go back to Maui. South of that, Belize is really popular. We've got a new Margaritaville resort there that people are really excited about. And kind of what we're seeing is more of the kind of post-COVID and the trend for next year is a little more curated experiences, multi-stop Costa Rica, where you're not just going to one place and
Hmm.
staying for, let's say, 5 to 7 nights, but doing 2 or 3 destination inside of a destination travel.
Hmm.
Um, we have destination specialists now in over 60 countries that can curate kind of a custom experience inside of Italy or Costa Rica or even in Alaska. And like I said, people are really wanting to do something that their friend hasn't done, or something
Hmm.
that's a little bit more curated to what they're looking for.
Sure. You were talking about Ireland a little bit ago. I know we're thinking of doing Ireland again in a couple of years, my wife and I. We really love it there. But, that's the kind of place, again, time of the year and maybe how you stay. Should be staying in hotels or should you be having a central point and doing day trips here and there? What would you suggest there?
I would self-drive Ireland if you're comfortable. That's the greatest way to do it. We've got a package
Hmm.
that literally allows you to set your itinerary. Meaning, if you arrive somewhere and you and your wife just love this spot and you want to stay here one more night, you can do that.
Hmm.
Um, and it's just a great way to get out on your own and explore that. So, self-drive Ireland is a must. We're doing a guided tour in March, which is Ireland, Scotland, and we're gonna, it's a bus boat kind of a combo.
Hmm.
Um, we've done a couple of the guided bus tours this last year, and we really enjoyed them. It wasn't kind of what I was expecting with the crowds were smaller. They're less than 30 people. The
Sure.
bus was not it was actually an enjoyable feature of it. So um, uh, self-drive Ireland is definitely an option. Most destinations, we want you to do maybe a guided tour or a semi-guided type tour.
And you talked about cruises. We haven't really touched on cruises yet. Cruises are back, right? Obviously, the pandemic is in the rearview mirror, and people are back cruising. Some people love it. Some people not so much. Why don't you walk us through some great cruise opportunities?
Yeah, well, cruises are just absolutely crazy. The exciting thing with cruises, the big ships, right? The Icon of the
Right.
Seas has just launched. We were fortunate to be on its inaugural sailing. Norwegian's launching Aqua here in February. We'll also have a chance to be on that inaugural sailing. So these big, massive boats adding a lot of inventory to the space, which was really needed. River cruising is by far I call it the new jacuzzi tub. It's the hottest thing I have seen in all of travel. I think we sell out every day to almost every sailing. And I think that's the thing that we're just not seeing slow down. And that is the hot ticket. So if you're thinking of a river cruise, you need to book in advance. Viking, Ama, Avalon still have some great availability on the Rhine or the Danube. We're seeing a lot of requests even for the Mekong, which is something it hasn't come up a lot in the past.
Mhm.
And so river cruising is really the big thing. And these big ships with Royal Caribbean on the Icon and the new Norwegian Aqua. We've got a couple group cruises coming up with Caribbean cruises this year. You can sign on our website. We do have 2 cabins left on an Alaska cruise leaving August 9th. That cruise is completely sold out besides the 2 cabins that we've got. So those are great opportunities to jump on a good deal with some sailings coming up in 25.
Now you shot through the rivers pretty quick. Did you say the Mekong? Like Mekong in Vietnam?
Yes,
Really? So that's a cruising river now?
it is. And it's, very limited in, of course, availability because the size of the ship also. They're usually not vessels owned by the cruise lines. However,
Mhm.
Viking does own their own.
Sure.
Um, and that entire you talked already about post pandemic. It's the exotic stuff that people are really kind of looking for. And also, folks, the river cruising is such a high repeat. They've already
Mhm.
done all the European river cruises. The American river cruises, the Mississippi, it's sold out for all of next year already because of the folks abroad booking that trip. So yeah, it's a real popular destination overall. Vietnam on just a land only destination is also really popular. I call it an Instagram destination. Um, People are really excited about some places that, you and I were, many years ago, you'd never think that that'd be a hot vacation destination.
Well, that was a place I wanted to stay out of when I was
Exactly.
in college, so I didn't want that that vacation. But yeah, that's why it's a surprise to hear about it now. You mentioned everybody thinks Viking when they think river cruises, obviously, because Viking's done a great job marketing themselves. But there are alternatives, and are they as nice or even nicer in some respects, or are they all pretty much the same?
The boats structurally are all the same. They're built that way to go through the canals and
Hmm.
through the locks. But when you open the door, it's different, and what you're eating for dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner is very different. Um, Viking by far is our most popular. They're actually the least expensive river cruise line. People think that they're the most luxury. They're actually the least
Hmm.
expensive river cruise line.
Hmm.
Ama, I do think is the best in river cruising. They're a luxury river cruise line. Some vessels actually have a swim up bar on the roof.
Nice.
I know you
Yeah.
appreciate that. When you get to your ports, a tour is a tour. If you ask me, when you arrive, let's say in Cologne or one of these destinations, getting off the ship, they're all relatively the same tours. It's
Hmm.
really what you're sleeping in, what you're sailing in. Um, the better cruise lines like Viking and Ama do get maybe some preferred port locations as well.
Hmm.
Um, but they're very similar itinerary wise. And there's a few things, just restrictions that some cruise line might have that we might lean towards another. But yeah, Viking we see on TV every night. They're wonderful. We love them. But Ama Waterways is absolutely stunning. And Avalon has a little different construction on their rooms, which why we really enjoy the Avalon River cruise ships as well.
You got about a minute left with me here. You want to sum up what maybe is available, best bet, if you can, for the next 6 months? If somebody's listening today and they're saying, we just want to get away for a week,
Yeah.
where can we go? They want to call 417 Travel and say, hey, Travis, take me to.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the Riviera Maya out of St. Louis. If you're willing to make that drive up to St. Louis, we can find you some great values literally any month of the year. We still have Christmas inventory, we still have spring break. So we are seeing some great prices there. And then single stop Europe. If you just want to fly from here to London and stay 5 nights, from here to Brussels, airfare rates are really good, and the hotel rates in these destinations are very, very good. So, single stop there. And our held Alaska and Caribbean cruises right now are pricing a couple $100 below the pricing right now. So we do have some great prices on it, including our May 8th all-inclusive give back trip to the beautiful Secrets Moche in the Riviera Maya. We still have rooms held for it starting at $2,150 per person, and that
Mhm.
includes air and hotel out of St. Louis.
And they can find you online at
417travel.com. Follow us up on Facebook. We do also, Scott, have a wine event at Vino's Vineyard
Mhm.
coming up here February 17th with Globus Tours, which do guided tours around the globe.
I want to thank my guest today, Travis Penguin of 417 Travel, here on Around the Ozarks Spotlight. Also, my producers, Taylor Dempster and Jay Stevens, as well as all of you for joining us today. If you happen to miss all or part of today's program, you can find ATO Spotlight on the AroundTheOzarks.com website, Facebook, Instagram, or X, and our new app for ATO, which can be found in the Apple App Store or Android apps. I'm Scott Meier. Remember, every day is a gift. Enjoy that gift. Have a great day.